Hey, this is Cosmic Commentary, and we're here to explain to you how Aussie Rules Finals works. So with the AFL Finals coming up, we figured we should explain more or less how it works, and every competition's got their own way of doing things.
The AFL's no different. It has its own system.
That's it.
And look, there's 4 weeks of finals. Week 4 is the grand final, and that's where you want to be. To get to the grand final, though, however, is a complicated thing. In week 1, you got qualifying finals and elimination finals. Now, the top 8 teams at the end of the year make the finals. First and fourth play qualifying finals, right? So first place fourth and second place third. The winner of those 2 games skip the second week of finals and go straight to the third week in what is called the preliminary final.
And we'll get to that
Get to that later. The loser of first and fourth and second and third go into the second week because they get a second chance. That's the idea of the qualifying final.
And a bit counterintuitively, that second week is called semi-finals.
Yeah, we don't know why. I don't know why.
Maybe because it's halfway through, but
anyway, the winner of the semis goes to the preliminary final. That's how it is. Then there's the elimination finals. 5th plays 8th and 6th plays 7th. The loser of those two games gets eliminated from the finals. The winner goes to the semi-finals the second week.
Hence the name Elimination Finals.
That's correct. The loser of 1st and 4th plays the winner of 5th and 8th, and the loser of 2nd and 3rd plays the winner of 6th and 7th. Now, here's where it gets a bit complicated. Theoretically, 4th will play 5th, and 3rd will play 6th in the semi-finals, assuming that those top teams go through.
Assuming the higher ranked teams beat the
Assuming
lower
they
ranked
go
teams.
through. However, if the 4th team beats the 5th team in the semi-finals, they don't play the first team again because they already played them in the first week. They played the team that finished second, who won the first week of the finals.
So once they get to the preliminary final,
So
it's a bit easier.
they switch over. So it's a bit easier. That's how it works. They don't play the same team twice but on the way to the grand final, although they can meet each other again in the grand final.
Of course, the way it's set up is so that they don't play the same team twice, and first and second, assuming they win in that first week, don't play each other until the grand final, which is how it should be.
That's it. And we explain it like that because that's the easiest way to explain it. Obviously, second can lose. 8th can beat 5th.
Well, that's it.
Sort of thing.
It comes down to as long as they win their first 2 games, they won't play each other until the grand final.
And that's the advantage of finishing first and second. You get home finals all the way to the grand final, assuming it's easy to make the grand final.
If you're a Melbourne side, you get a home game before the grand final too. So the winner of the qualifying finals in the first round of finals get a week off.
Yep.
And they join up with everybody in the 3rd round of finals for that prelim, which on one hand it used to be an advantage, but now it's sort of given them a bit of a disadvantage because there is a bye round before finals, which only got implemented last season. And some people think that's the reason why we've had our first winner from outside the top 4 in this new system. But give them credit where it's due. They did good.
It's 1 year.
Yeah.
Well, like if it happens again, then I'll be like, this is a bit sus. But
unless it's Sydney.
Well, Sydney are. Sydney are a legitimate top 4 side who aren't in it yet. Who had a slow start.
The way that the finals is set up, obviously, it's to reward the teams that finish in the top 4.
Yeah.
They get that second chance. And, of course, the teams 1st and 2nd get to play at home. The teams in 5th and 6th get to play at home. And consequently, whoever's ranked higher gets to play at home.
Yeah, basically, whoever finishes high on the ladder plays at home, regardless of...
Yeah.
Unless 4th beats 1st in the first week.
Yeah.
So if you win the qualifying final, doesn't matter where you finish, you'll play a home game in the prelim.
And of course, it goes without saying that the team who wins the qualifying final, the first round of fixtures, will be the home team in the prelim. Even if it was 4th versus 1st, and then
and 4th beat 1st in the first week.
So if you lose the qualifying final, then you basically lose your right to a home preliminary final.
Yeah.
Now, the grand final is played on a neutral ground.
It is at the MCG.
Yeah.
Home to Richmond and Melbourne and Hawthorn and Collingwood.
Well, it's the home of football. It's the biggest ground in Australia and one of the biggest stadiums in the world, in fact. Very famous stadium. Why not have the game there? Obviously.
Well, it's 100,000 people. But the AFL like to have the most amount of people attending their game.
Yeah, it's a grand final as well. Like you have to have it at the biggest stadium in the country, surely. The only problem with that is that there are 3, 4, 5 teams that actually play their home games at the MCG.
And interstate sides don't like it.
Yeah, well, it gives them a massive advantage.
It does.
Look at Hawthorn. A over their last
Well,
few
they
years.
dismantled sides, didn't they?
Yeah, and I mean,
They're a very good side.
yeah, I mean
but
the
they
season
dismantled them.
the season that they beat West Coast, they lost in West Coast earlier,
Yeah,
but then they just ploughed through, and then they played against West Coast in the final, essentially at home on a neutral venue, and
completely destroyed them.
the same with Sydney. The same thing happened. The Sydney were the better team during the season, but they were favourites for some reason, and then people seem to have forgotten that Hawthorn play at the MCG,
Pretty much.
and they took them apart as well.
That's how it is, unfortunately, in the AFL.
That's how it is. It's a semi-convoluted system, but not quite as convoluted as the Super Bowl. But I mean, that's a really intense and complicated, very extravagant system. So I hope that made sense. I don't think it's too bad, but
Well, the annotations will help you.
yeah, and hopefully helps with our other videos on what we've been talking about the finals coming up soon. If you enjoyed that and other videos, definitely check out our channel. Subscribe if you want to see more of this stuff. We have more or less weekly content with a few videos in between as well. We also talk about the EPL. So now the season's starting, we'll be getting into that as well. We're just going to see out the AFL season.
We'll talk about
of
the
course.
EPL and other things that are relevant.
Yeah,
in the
exactly.
soccer world.
Yeah, and we're slowly expanding into the other leagues as well, but that'll come in time, especially if there's more demand. So we hope you enjoyed that video. Hope you learned something. Thank you again for watching, and we'll see you next time.
See you then.